Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I'm your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. I'm also a registered legal document assistant, LDA, based in the greater Los Angeles area. So you know you need a divorce and you decide you want to use mediation. And when you bring it up to your spouse, they are super defensive because unbeknownst to you, all they're hearing is, I'm divorcing you and I get to decide everything. I'm going to be in control. So let's talk about how do you introduce the idea of mediation without starting another fight. Okay, and then I will say this as a little caveat before we even begin. Please don't pick your friend who happens to be an attorney to be the mediator, especially if they're not even in family law. But regardless, that is a bad look. My friend said that they would mediate for us. Hard pass. Hail to the no. We're not using your friend, boo-boo. Okay? So if you don't want to start a fight, you got to pick somebody totally neutral. All right. So they are going to feel threatened potentially about mediation because they might think you are trying to push them into something. They may feel like, I'm at a disadvantage because I don't even know what mediation is or how it works. And I didn't want this divorce in the first place. Or we're not going to use any attorneys, so I'm not going to get any legal advice. And I think you're sneaky and you are going to get all the legal advice. And if you're paying for it, they're going to be on your side. You have to reframe mediation. This is about framing the conversation. Have you ever talked to your child about something and they don't want to do it, yet if you frame it differently, they do? This is about framing. So you let them know, oh, you know what? Mediation is about us staying in control instead of a stranger in a black robe. It is about us setting the timing and the pace, avoiding unnecessary stress, because divorce is stressful, but it's way more stressful to be in court, waiting to be called, while your attorney's bills are racking up, and you're just sitting there, and you had to take the day off of work, and there are people there, and they're going to hear everything. That's way more stressful. So you also save on legal fees. This mediation is also about you guys making a decision instead of them being made for you. Now, if your spouse is like, hold up, how are we supposed to decide on something when we can't even decide about this? We're fighting all the time because we have somebody neutral who does this for a living, who is used to people arguing, who can help them reach an agreement, who can help facilitate this conversation. That's why we're going to mediation, because if we agreed on everything, we wouldn't even need to mediate. So what you can say is something like this. I've been thinking about how we can move forward in a way that feels less stressful. And I don't want to spend months and months and thousands of dollars fighting. I'd rather us be in charge rather than the judge. Also, it's better for our kids. We can reach peace now and have less ambiguity for our children. Mediation is just a conversation with a neutral person. It's not about who's right or wrong. The mediator can't make any decisions for us. They can't tell us what we do. They're not a judge. And then you can also say, we want as little pain as possible. This is painful. And then, of course, your spouse is like, it's painful. This ain't painful for you. You can't even wait to get out of here. This is painful for me. So if your breakup has to do with your extramarital affairs, you probably shouldn't mention the pain you're in because that person is not going to think that you're in any pain. So don't mention pain. Just go, we have to move through this. So let's move through this as peacefully as possible. So when should you say it, right? Because it's not just about what you say, it's about timing. Timing is everything. Like you met that new special person, but you didn't end your marriage first. And then things got messy. Timing is everything, okay? So now we're in this situation when we're getting a divorce. Our timing is everything. So if you have an argument, the thing not to do is be like, oh yeah, I want to use mediation. That's not going to go over well. Or as they're rushing out the door because they're late to work. Yeah, can we have a conversation tonight about mediation? I really want to do mediation. I'm going to send you some links, okay? They're not going to like that either. You got to do it when they're calm, not when they're like super relaxed and not thinking about anything, because then you're just going to stress them out. But when you guys are getting along, when you're calm, if you can't talk in person or you're no longer living together and you do not see one another, text or email. Remember about text though, a lot is lost in communication in text because we shorten the words we use, the amount of words we use. We abbreviate things in a text. Also, what I see is that sometimes things are lost in communication in an email because in some ways we've lost the ability to communicate via writing. So be intentional and thoughtful about what you put in a text or an email so that there is very little room for misunderstanding. Expect that there will be, but do your best to prevent that. And then, you can also snail mail it, write it in your own handwriting. Okay. Now, if they say no, okay, well, I heard that is always an option. So that's okay if you don't want to do it now. If you change your mind, I'm open to it. If you want to meet some mediators and you want me to meet them, I'm happy to do that. I can do the same for you. But I did hear that even if we decide not to start with mediation, we can switch over to mediation. Or if we decide to start with mediation and we can't settle, well, we can still go to court. So I'm flexible and open. And then in the meantime, what I need you to do is take care of your business. It's very likely if there are a lot of hurt feelings involved, if it's not been a long time. So there's some people that I work with where it's been a long time. They've been separated for a long time, or they just known for a long time. This isn't working. There isn't some secret mystery person out there, or even if there is another person, it's no longer a secret. It's been so long. The emotions have died down. Both sides are just kind of like, okay, yeah, this is what we need to do. How do we approach it? Because they have the benefit of time. But if you are in a situation where you haven't had that benefit of time yet, your spouse is very likely going to stall, whether intentionally or not. Sometimes it's subconsciously that people stall. But what you need to do is start gathering your documents, putting your paperwork together, maybe even filing for divorce, getting things set up. Get your house in order so that you are ready. Don't delay on this. Walk through this process with respect and with dignity. You want to be able to hold your head up during your divorce and long after your divorce regarding your behavior in the midst of your divorce. So get ready now. And if things begin to get contentious and they are still resistant to mediation, consider conflict coaching of how do I communicate with this person who just hates my guts and is planning my funeral. They just can't wait for me to be dead. How do I do that? Because the thing is, it will take time, but the thing is, your spouse will begin to mirror your behavior. Everyone you meet will begin to mirror your behavior. As you work through your conflict with a conflict coach and you learn strategies and ways to communicate that diffuse or de-escalate conflict rather than escalate them, you present yourself in a calm manner. Eventually, that will get through to your spouse and they will calm the F down. And they will begin to react and act towards you the way you are towards them. The converse is true as well. If you're just escalating things and maybe you're not physically throwing things, but you're emotionally throwing bombs, it's just a battlefield, okay? So you get to choose how you behave. And ironically, by you choosing your behavior, it's choosing the behavior of the other person too. So be calm, be clear, talk about your shared goals. And if you're unsure, if you need more details about how to bring this up, I have a link below where you can sign up for a little script and some ideas of how to talk to your spouse. So go ahead, click that link below so that you can download that information, study it, and then be brave and have that conversation. I wish you the best of luck. It's not going to hurt for trying. What could happen? Something really awesome could happen if you just try to have this conversation. So be brave, you can do it, and let me know how it goes.